while since I've done a drive and talk video. And, of course, part of that is that we are full on into winter here in Victoria, and we've had a few weeks that have been really cold, even for this area. But I thought I should jump in and do a drive and talk video. So, first of all, probably a bit of housekeeping. I just want to say a huge thank you to those people who are members. It's memberships and buy me a coffee and super thanks and super chats and stuff. They're the things that help me to be able to continue with this channel. Obviously, there's not a lot of money to be made from YouTube directly, so it's the things like the memberships and buy me a coffee and all that make the difference and make it possible to continue to put my time into making these videos. So thank you for all those people who support me in that way. But at the same time, thank you to everyone who is a subscriber, and thank you for everyone who comments on my videos. When you comment on my videos, you get them out into the YouTube algorithm. The more comments on videos, the more views they're likely to get. So that helps me out immensely. So even if you are not in a position to have membership or to buy me a coffee or do a super thanks or a super chat, just know that I appreciate you every bit as much just for being a subscriber, for hitting like on my videos, and for putting comments in my videos. That helps me out so much. So I guess the first thing is, where's everybody gone? It seems like I'm so glad that Mark and Jazz and Shan are still doing Kiely Rodni stuff, but for them, obviously, life still interferes, so they're not getting out a huge amount of videos, but they're certainly doing their share. But it seems like more and more people are just walking away from Kiely's case. And I've noticed that in this past week that my views have dropped significantly. And I don't know if that's because there's other cases that people are watching that they're more engaged in right now, or if people have just decided that they're just no longer interested in Kiely's case, or what the situation is. I have noticed that the other channel that likes to put out all that fake crap and, you know, makes up stories about Kiely and makes up stories about other creators, I've noticed that her views haven't really dropped off. And I find it sad that people are giving her the views, because obviously she's making money out of Kiely's case in the wrong way. And especially when I saw her put a post up this week begging people to help her with $60 for added security for her channel because it was being hacked, when she'd put these images up in her community post that were basically photos that had been edited using an app. And she was trying to say, look what's happening, you know, I'm being hacked, this is what's happening to my channel. It's like, well, I find it sad that, you know, on one hand, I've seen one creator go, well, you know, sucked into these people who gave her money and got conned by her. But the thing is, when you look at statistics on YouTube channels and you look at who viewers are and who subscribers are, there are subscribers to channels who are an older generation and who probably don't really understand the finer logistics of what happens when you are hacked. And she seems to have a core group of followers who perhaps are your Blue Rinse Brigade, for want of a better term, who don't realise that she's conning them and who don't know enough about technology to realise that she's lying to them and using these lies to get money out of them. So I hate to think how much money she actually got given when she was begging them for money to help her fight against the hacking that was going on with her channel. Because we know that she wasn't being hacked. And I just think it's bad enough, the sort of content that she's putting out with regards to Kiely. But to then turn around and take advantage of subscribers and lie to them to get them to give her money is wrong. Sure, if you're having a tough month, turn around and say, well, hey, this month's been a bit of a struggle and I'd appreciate extra super thanks or something from my subscribers. I've got no problem with creators doing that. I mean, I've just gone in at the start of this video and said how much I appreciate it when people do buy me a coffee or super thanks or super chats, or when they do memberships, because it does help me stay afloat. But I will never, ever lie to my subscribers or my viewers to try and con them out of money, because to me that is the lowest of the low. So, moving on to Kiely. I've been, as you know, looking at Sammy Smith again this week, and I've barely gotten into the Tony Dodge interview because I am really trying to dig in and just really look at what she has said, what other people have said outside of that interview, what she said in other interviews, etc. And there's definitely a pattern there, and I found the last video particularly interesting because I think it highlighted just how badly Megan Cole has screwed over Sammy Smith when she thought she was actually jumping in to help her out. But in reality, she's just said too much. And someone made a comment under that video that they don't trust either of them to tell the truth, and that's so true. And I think that's what is making it so hard with Kiely's case, to figure out what the heck is going on, because nobody seems to know how to tell the truth. Even, I have to say, there's something wrong with Mag's story about how there were guys who were forcing bong rips on her without her boyfriend present. What's with that story? Something there does not fit, especially when we know from looking at Mags that she's not afraid of drugs, clearly. And so much of what Sammy says is clearly a lie. I mean, 12:36. Kiely's phone wasn't even on at 12:36. Her phone was kaput. So we know that that's an outright lie. We have nothing that corroborates anything that Sammy has said. We don't know if she truly did leave the party at 12:25. For all we know, she may have not ever left the party. And there was a really good point that a commenter made in one of my videos, which I hadn't actually thought of, but I thought it made sense. Sammy talking about how she'd asked Kiely for a ride, and then she went back into the party and asked someone else for a ride because she decided that Kiely was too drunk. And I may be adding my own spin on this as well, but I'm wondering, we know that Kiely had a curfew and she had to get home. So is it possible that Sammy was trying to convince Kylie to drive her to an after party and to go to the after party for some time before going home. And that she decided to go with people who were more fun and hitch a ride. Maybe she came across someone else who was more, like Sammy, more fun and, more of the in-group, and decided to hitch a ride to the after party, if there was an after party, hitch a ride with the in-group and ditched Kylie because Kylie wasn't cool enough for Sammy. Don't forget, Sammy really didn't like Kylie, in my opinion. When you look at her talking about how, Kylie was considered a senior. So in Sammy's opinion, Kylie wasn't one of them. And when, in one of the interviews, when she said, I didn't want to ride with her, the look on her face was a real look of disdain. So I would imagine her being the sort of person that maybe that was her backup option to try and ask Kylie for a ride, and then when someone better came along, she just ditched Kylie and went, yeah, whatever. But, like I said, we don't know what truly happened that night at the party. We don't know if Sammy left when she claims she left. We don't know if Kylie went to an after party and she went missing from that after party, or something happened at that after party. We just don't know. And it is concerning to me that we are still getting total silence from CHP. And I still worry, I wonder if FBI is still looking at this case. Because we're nearly up to 2 years, and it seems like the case has been pretty much forgotten. And I also feel, and this is why I worry so much about the number of creators who are walking away from Kylie's case. I worry that if we stop talking here on YouTube about Kylie, that what will happen is that her case will just be buried and it'll be forgotten, and there'll never be justice for Kylie. It seems pretty clear that people who live in the area are either too scared to speak out or are simply choosing to not speak out because that's what you do. You stick your head in the sand and ignore it. Even Megan Cole is now, whereas she used to say that she thought there was foul play and that, there was an accident that was covered up. Now she's like, no, she just drowned. She drove herself in and drowned. And I actually don't believe that Megan believes that herself. But she's taken that line because I believe that there's been pressure put on her from somewhere to take that line. It's not popular in the area to even talk about Kylie, let alone to question the case. So I did come across something this morning that gave me a flicker of hope, and that is that Jennifer Coffindaffer now has a YouTube channel. I only came across it because someone else was commenting on the fact that she was talking about Summer Wells, and I went in and I watched her video that she did. It was a recap on a few cases, and I was listening to what she was saying about Summer Wells, but she was very, very passionate about Summer Wells's case, and she was very logical in what she was saying there. And it got me thinking that we should all go and subscribe to her channel. And even if we can't originally, straight up get her to take another look at Kylie's channel, if people can become familiar faces on her channel, she may be more willing to listen to people asking her to take another look at Kylie's case. possibly. Because I think if we had someone as influential as Jennifer Coffindaffer looking at Kiely's case, that could help to make a difference. Now, I mentioned earlier on that how much I appreciate membership and buy me a coffee and everything like that. And I do just want to give a shout out to Shan and just remind people that, and I know, I hope Shan will forgive me for saying this, but I just want to remind people that Shan does need our support. It's not an easy road for her either. So certainly if you can afford membership for her channel, or if you're in her live streams, give her a super thanks or a super chat. Any of those things is going to help her to continue to come out on YouTube and cover Kiely's case as well. I think Shan is such a valuable asset to Kiely's case that I think, and sorry Shan if I'm speaking out of turn here, but I would give you as much support as I could. But I would just like to encourage other people to give Shan support. And, when she's live, go in there, click the like button, join us in chat, do a membership, give her super thanks, super chat, whatever. Just, let's support those channels who are still fighting for Kiely. Because I don't want to feel like I'm doing it alone. And it certainly feels like we're fast approaching that. I think it's a real struggle for people to continue to cover Kiely's case. And, it's not something that pays, so to speak, unless you're going to come up with a whole heap of lies and BS like Misty does. Because out of everyone who is doing any content related to Kiely, I think she's the only one who actually is bringing in any money. So I think we need to fight against that by supporting Mark, supporting Shan, and if somehow Ara decides to come back and start covering Kiely, supporting her, supporting Jazz, because Jazz has never quit on Kiely. None of those creators are wealthy individuals who can afford to be going full-time on YouTube. None of us are. So let's support the people who are still fighting for Kiely. I hope that doesn't sound too pushy. That's just me sharing my thoughts and just saying what I think. So I know I haven't really spoken much in terms of Kiely's actual case. I think this was just me needing to get a bit off my chest and possibly rant a little bit and just gauge where we're at, I think, too, in terms of the Kiely Rodni case, to find out, is it almost dead in the water? Are we reaching a point where things are just winding down to a halt and that soon there's going to be no interest in Kiely's case? I don't know. I hope that never happens, but it does concern me. And yeah, I will just say, I know that I mentioned before that I was covering the Madeline Soto case, but to be honest, I hit a point with that case where emotionally I just could not continue to cover it. And I think that's probably why you see everyone seems to have just stopped covering it. And I think that's why, because as you start getting through those documents that were released, it's a truly, truly horrendous case. And I think for many of us, it's just too hard to cover. So at this point in time, I probably won't be doing any more content on Madeline Soto. I'd love to continue to tell her story, but it's just horrible. It's utterly horrible. I will try and dip my foot into a few other cases, but I do hope to continue with my Kiely content with support of my subscribers and my viewers. Anyway, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Help me to keep this channel going. Thank you.
I begin to wonder